She's at a place in her life where peace is a priority and negativity cannot exist. She's no longer matching energy. She's simply removing herself from any situation that doesn't vibrate her soul. So if you start moving funny, she's moving on.
What's up, my Fina loves? This is Fina D coming to you all from Fina Team News.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment.
I'm aware that since I've been back active on YouTube, I've been posting back to back, but I'm way behind, and that's the reason why I'm doing my best to get caught up so that I can finally sit down and give you all a decent, detailed review, okay? So that's why you're getting all of these back-to-back videos. Now, most of you are aware that I do not throw away my work. It doesn't matter if I recorded it 3 weeks ago. I will always find a way to make it relevant and post it. I did not forget to talk about Sheree. I did talk about Sheree having the nerve to choose a man and defend that man over Kenya Moore, who's been supporting her for such a long time, regardless of how disgusting she's been to Kenya. Kenya still have her back every single time, but yet she had the nerve to join flip-flopper Sania to do the whole, oh, there goes Kenya calling a black man aggressive again. And it felt flat, okay, because social media dragged the both of them again. So I did not forget about talking about that. But I was like, you know what? That happened a few episodes ago. So let me go ahead and talk about current events and move on. But then I saw this comment right here. Hey, Sharon, thank you for all of the love and support. Miss V, can we please talk about Sheree? And I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's go ahead and do it. But I tell you, social media drags Sheree so badly. So let's get into some of these tweets because they are basically tweeting everything I was going to say, okay? But let me just say something quickly. Sheree, I mean, come on, girl. Y'all tried this years ago in Miami with the whole there goes Kenya Moore calling a black man aggressive when the man was aggressive, okay? And it was Candy who stood up for Kenya. She was the only one who stood up for Kenya. Then when you tried to make her the bad person again, as it relates to a man saying, oh, she was lying on you, just to find out she wasn't. Bob was abusing you, okay? And then he said those disgusting things on the van, in that van, and it was Kenya who stood up to support you. Not Phaedra, it was Kenya. And then when you had your fixed storyline, when you couldn't call Tyrone, who did you call? Yep, it was Kenya on the other line while you were over there fake crying because you knew that man wasn't coming to that meeting. You knew all of this. But once again, I get it. You have to pay for Chateau. She can't pay. So you have to do whatever it takes to keep your peach and make that money. I get it, girl. So you went over there knowing he wasn't going to show up. And Kenya Moore was there for you again, believing your fixed storyline, which is why you raised your voice and got so angry when that man came to your event, a fashion show with fashion, after 150 years, because you know he was about to expose you. And the louder you got, you could overtalk him and distract him from exposing the fact that you knew he wasn't showing up, okay? We're not done. But yet Kenya was still there for you. And absolutely not. In no way am I over here defending this man. Absolutely not. I'm just speaking facts. I mean, he did interviews and he came with receipts in his interviews that Sheree knew. And that's it. Okay? And who's been there giving you different business advice and all of that? Kenya Moore, okay? But once again, I'm not surprised. Here's Sheree going crazy for a man who won't even claim her. A man who's referring to her as his friend every chance he gets because he knows that contract. Having you out here looking so out of place at his event, wouldn't even introduce you to his people as his girlfriend, went up there to say thank you, thank everybody but you, ignored you half of the night, just a hot mess. But from a business standpoint and money standpoint, Sheree is currently on 2 shows, okay? So if you think about it business-wise, hey, Do your thing, girl, but don't sit over here and try to convince anyone, especially the internet, that you have a relationship or you're in love. Sheree is not fighting for Martell. She's actually fighting for her peach. She's fighting for her money, and she's fighting to secure that peach in her bag. Because, like I said, after 150 times, if Bravo let her go again, like Kenya Moore said, most fired housewife, it's a wrap for Sheree if she's not coming back. Yes, I've seen the clips going around social media from his show, and you already know they will post the entire episode online. He doesn't acknowledge you as his woman, child. And we all know this, but like I said, Sheree right now is on 2 shows and she's getting to the bag. And you know what? Chateau she can't pay to everything looking like, and I say looking like because you know the internet will and can fool you, okay? To everything looking like it's working out, Sheree needs to keep her bag as in money. So I get it. And let's go back real quick before I get into these tweets because something happened on Speak On It when Kenya was on there with Candy that I was like, Candy girl, what are you doing? When Kenya Moore was on Candy Speak On It, and I know Candy means well, but when she said something along the lines of, or do you think when you call a black man aggressive, do you think about, what people are going to interpret that as, and almost like trying to make an excuse for Martell. And Kenya is like, if it walks like a duck, you know the saying, it's a duck. Like, what are you talking about, Candy? I don't care if he was black, purple, blue, whatever. If he's aggressive, he's aggressive. It has nothing to do with color and race. If a white man came at me crazy and he's aggressive, I would have said the same thing. So what are we doing here? Talking about, do you care sometimes about what it could do to their brand? What brand? You should have thought about your brand before you came at a woman sideways. So there are times where Candy say certain things or do certain things, and I'm like, side eye, but that doesn't mean that she's not a friend or they're not cool, And if Kenya does something to Candy that I'm like, girl, what are you doing? I will talk about it as well. But anyways, let's continue. I like that part of the Speak On It. So I had to speak on it real quick. But let's get into these tweets. Sheree, you're really trying to spin this and act like Kenya has a vendetta against black men when she was really trying to be a friend to your weak and stop you from repeating the same patterns you've been doing for years. You are dumb as Sheree up here fighting the entire internet over Martell, and he just called her his friend girl on his show, but on hers, she's all my man, and you can respect him. Sheree, why still a fool at 65 when wisdom supposed to kick in? Sheree is always defending a man being aggressive towards Kenya, but yet Kenya was the only one that came to her defense when Bob joked about knocking the... I'm not going to read that line, but you all know what this person is talking about, and the image with the words on it of what Bob said is on the screen. That was a very sad episode. Sheree is always that girl that would defend a man being violent, aggressive, or abusive to a woman if she doesn't like her. And go ahead and read the rest because I do have another video I want to post. Hopefully I can make it before the new episode, so I'm rushing through the comments. Also, this is the person who posted the previous tweet I just read, but you see how small it is? That's the reason why I removed their name to zoom in so you could see what I was reading. But let's go ahead and read the one right below that tweet I just read. When Kenya said he's talking to me like he's going to eventually talk to you, say that ish, Kenya. You can tell Martha is a maid with his clout chasing. Please. Now, you know these people can threaten harm towards Kenya, can even physically assault her and be in the wrong, and there will always be people defending them against Kenya Moore. So this is one of the situations here. So you had this person up top responding and basically explaining different things Martell did, because most of the Real Housewives of Atlanta supporters, they do not watch his show. So this person tweeted, he screamed and was disrespectful to his ex-mother-in-law, stalked his ex-wife on dates, and videotaped it all, charged at his ex-wife. Kenya called it. I always wonder if he was on because of his aggressiveness. I've never watched him on any other show and don't know him. There absolutely could be truth to what Kenya said about how he treats women, but we've all seen Kenya run with the same narrative on the show about other boyfriends or husbands responding to her. And the person responded, and unfortunately, she's been right on point with most of them. Drew is in divorce court as we speak. Exactly. How many times do I have to say that Kenya Moore is always vindicated? Didn't Sheree say Kenya lied about Bob ever physically assaulting her just for Bob to come on national television and say those disgusting things to her? Exactly. Okay, so just stop it. Anyways, let's move on. So another person stood up for Kenya. How did she poke the bear? He was standing over her, being disrespectful, trash talking her. And exactly, like I call Sheree, delusional all the time. And you know, that last line is something serious. Sheree is used to abuse and cannot spot it from a mile away. Regardless of us talking about, oh, it's for a storyline, she have to pay for this and pay for that. This is actually true and it's serious, and hopefully she does get help for it. I'm very serious about that because the reason why this whole situation on the screen and moment was important is because Sheree argued Kenya down about her ex, which I'm not going to say his name or put his images on the screen, but the one who broke and busted her garage door. Yes, the aggressive one who, even after Kenya Moore was in the news for attacking allegedly his new girlfriend. Okay? Sheree was defending him and saying if he did anything to Kenya deserved it because she provokes people. Sheree once again defending another abusive man. And that's when Kenya said, well, I'm surprised you're even defending this man and saying this after what Bob did to you. And then Sheree turned around and said Kenya was a liar and her ex-husband never did anything to her. And she once again was defending her abuser, all for the looks of TV. That conversation wasn't recorded. I told Kenya in confidence, I'm going to stand here and lie and pretend like it didn't happen. And once again, Kenya Moore was vindicated because then Bob came on TV and basically said this and embarrassed Sheree. And when she was crying, Kenya didn't say, yep, that's what you get. I was right. I didn't lie. No, she put all of that mess aside and stood up for you and stepped up and gave you a hug and was there for you emotionally. She put all the pettiness aside, and even after that moment, you still attempted to comfort her, and Sheree got dragged so badly on social media that she had to let it go. Sheree dated a man in prison for years and years, only for him to get out, stand her up, and get with someone else. But she's trying to make Kenya feel bad about not having a man. Exactly, like, child, bye. Okay? I'd rather be single than tolerate the nonsense that you put up with. Okay? All for a check and a storyline. But as you can see from these comments and tweets, it did not work in Sheree's favor. Now, this was supposed to be, some fun shade here and there. People coming for Sheree on Twitter, trying to come for Kenya, and then let's go ahead and end it. But then it got a little deep and sensitive because of some of the things that Sheree been through, and people just reminding her, girl, there's a pattern and history here. Open your eyes. Even if it's for a storyline, there are still people watching who's believing Sheree and not thinking that, oh, she's just trying to make some money. So it got sensitive. So even though in the beginning it was Sheree got dragged on social media for coming for Kenya because that's the word we use, as in people were throwing shade for Sheree coming for her, it got sensitive. So I chose not to put that word in the title and just put, Sheree gets called out on social media and, whatever else I decided to include in the title because it just got deep. But as you can see, social media held it down and defended Kenya Moore. And basically, we're all aware that Sheree is very delusional. I mean, it was so bad that Sheree tweeted, hoping that she and Kenya can move past their differences because she realized that it wasn't working in her favor. She saw those comments, and of course, she changed her tone and all of that, okay? Kenya also joined in and tweeted, I call it the way I see it. By calling a man or a woman aggressive, if they are behaving that way, doesn't mean I'm saying all are. Of course, Kenya, we get it, girl. Hashtag false narrative. Hashtag y'all tried it. I mean, give it up, okay? Y'all been trying this for years. It's not working. And you all remember Candy clapped back at Sheree. Kenya clowned the way how, that Courtney person talked. And of course, Delusional Sheree got clowned for her tagline, okay? Not having enough inventory, knowing that you've been saying for 150 years you were releasing their clothing line and not being able to give people what they paid for and having to refund people their money because all of the mess that happened with your lunch, that's not something to celebrate. But congratulations to you for at least having some fashion to sell to people. So congratulations. Hopefully she can get it together because I'm not here to, yes, we had our fun shake, kiki, but at the end of the day, you do want to see people flourish and do well. So I wish Sheree well. I'm wishing all of you well and take care. My loves, thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.